Body yada 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 yada. Body crazy,
curvy, wavy,
big titties, little waist. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big titties, little waist. Body yada 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 yada.
What's up, y'all? It's the motherfucking hot girl.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, my voice just cracked a little bit. It's kind of early.
I know, right? We're recording kind of early today.
Guys, welcome back. This is the Southside of Wakanda podcast, the best podcast in the multiverse. I am Zombie Zaddy.
Okay, and I am a very gifted healer.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Right. If this is your first time joining us, we are two black queens who get together and discuss the MCU movies and TV shows. We do not focus on the podcast. So if you...
Comics.
Oh.
I got you, girl. Again, it's early.
This is going to be an interesting episode. Like, what I was trying to say is, if you don't read the comic books and you do not like, how gatekept the fandom is, this is the spot for you. Because we are not like that. This week,
we're very welcoming to all kinds.
We are. This week
unless
we're going to be
an asshole.
Unless you're a chauvinistic pig on the internet.
Unless you're a Dennis Bukowski.
Yeah, fuck Dennis. Disrespectfully.
Dennis Bukaki. Sorry. I also called somebody else in my notes Bukaki, but we'll get there.
Oh, okay. This week we're talking about Iron Fist episodes 9 through 13 of the first season.
Y'all, okay, so usually the first, like with these Netflix shows, we'll do like 4 episodes, 3, then 2. But we were so ready to be done with Iron Fist, with Shit Fist, as my boyfriend
Shit Fist
calls
is going to be over with.
We had to watch 5 episodes of this show. Plus watch She-Hulk, and we both watched it twice. So
it was a lot of TV watching going on this week.
It was. I don't think I watched anything recreationally.
I didn't either.
I watch Pretty Little Liars while I'm at work because I just put my phone, don't tell nobody, I just put my phone underneath my computer screen and I just be watching TV like while I'm working. But that's like listening to a podcast. I've seen it so many times. Like, it's not really like I'm consuming the content. Like I haven't watched anything outside of Marvel and Pretty Little Liars, and I don't know how long. So
I used to do that when I worked. When like in the office, I would always be watching something on my phone screen because I just need the noise, the distraction, the comfort.
Drown out the voices. The calls are coming from inside the house.
And shit at work, outside too. The damn coworkers, right? Let me work, please.
No, my coworkers is cool. I be turning around like, what's the tea?
See, I saw a TikTok that was just like, when you're at home, you be like working, but then when you at the office, you going to coffee and sitting at people's desks and talking and taking meetings.
It's like, I'm so much more productive in the office, but being productive is basically just gossiping.
Basically. So back to the show. Now we're going to talk about some MCU news stories. So I will say that most of this is rumors, and I have to give my husband a shout out because he found these news stories for us because I did not have time yesterday.
Shout out to Prince.
Yes, he's the guy in our chair, or guy in a chair.
Exactly.
So the first rumor I want to talk about is this Fantastic Four casting rumor. So, the birth, what is this guy's name? David Faraci. I don't know how to say his last name, but he revealed on a Marvel Vision podcast that Marvel Studios has spoken with Penn Badgley, the star of You on Netflix.
Gossip Girl. That's my boo. I love him.
They said they want him to play Reed Richards, a.k.a. Mr. Fantastic, in the Fantastic Four movie that is set to come out in 2024. But that guy later said that he heard that rumor on Reddit, which I don't know if I really believe that, but
Straw Hat Goofy also talked about it.
Yeah.
But also as just a rumor.
Yeah.
Who knows how it got started.
Right now it's a rumor, and some other anonymous sources from inside of Marvel Studios have also said that they really want him to do it, and they've spoken with him about it, but has not been, officially revealed yet.
I would love for him to be in the MCU. I don't know why. I've never seen him do anything that's not kind of like a romantic comedy, or now he's like this crazy sociopath and everything like that. And I just love seeing him in that, but I've never seen him in anything like in an action movie.
Yeah.
Besides Stepfather, I don't think that really counts though.
He was in it?
The movie Stepfather?
Did I see? Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah. Okay.
When the stepdaddy was crazy?
Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about. I didn't see that. Yeah, I think he would be good. Prince was asking me, like, what did I think about the casting? Like, if he is cast for the role.
Right.
And I think I would prefer him over John Krasinski.
You think so?
Yeah, and I know this is like contradicting what I've previously said,
right.
But having actually seen John Krasinski in the role and being familiar with the previous Fantastic Four movies, I would rather see somebody who's more outwardly nerdy take on that role, because
I can see that
it's supposed to be supreme nerd king. And John Krasinski, like when he was doing The Office, he was more nerdy, but now like after he did that whole Jack Ryan thing,
and he's done a lot of more actiony type of things, so he's in his action bag now.
Yeah, and I guess he fits the build for like a Marvel hero type person. But Reed Richards is supposed to just be like the nerd and the leader, and then he just stretches. Like he's not brute strength kind of a hero, you know? So,
right.
And then, John Krasinski was okay in Multiverse of Madness. That couple seconds didn't blow me away, so I'm not upset.
Yeah, it was a shock value.
Yeah, and I'm happy that they did it for us.
But he wasn't in it long enough for me to form like a crazy opinion. I would actually even have to go back and watch, because I haven't seen the original Fantastic Four in eons. So I would have to go back and watch that one and then kind of like judge it. Yeah. Because right now I don't really, like, based off of my memory, I don't really have that much to base his characterization on.
Yeah. So. John Krasinski looked like he get all the hoes, and Reed Richards only had that one.
Somehow,
exactly. He also said in that same interview that Marvel's MCU version is going to be very traditional, and I'm just going to read the quote word for word. I've long been stumped for a black Reed Richards. I think John David Washington would be an incredible Reed Richards. I mean, I've been stumping. I don't know who uses that word in that context, but okay. I've been stumping for this forever, and I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get a black Reed either. Reed Richards is going to be very traditional, is my guess. The guys at Marvel Studios have been talking about all white guys. That guy, Penn Badley from the show You, who probably already has the role. Frankly, he's a white guy. They're going with the standard. And he's terrific, by the way. That's a good choice, but they're going very classical.
Like I said last week, if there are more black superheroes, just get black actors to play the black superheroes. We don't have to change all. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like 50. It's probably not exactly 50-50, but it's just like, would I like to see black people in traditionally like white roles? Sure, whatever. But if there are roles that are superheroes that are already black, then just bring them into the MCU and give black people those jobs.
Yeah, it needs to be more of a balance, because I feel like there are black superheroes that we don't know about, and I would like to learn about those and see them on the screen. I'm not opposed to a black Reed Richards, because Reed Richards, his race doesn't really have to do with his character. So it could be a black person and it would not change the story or anything at all.
Right.
But I also just don't want to deal with the fucking backlash. I'm tired.
Either. And then too, like, because you already know, like, these white people, the white people that would talk about this, those are the white people I'm talking about. If you cool, this ain't about you.
Right.
But, then, what if they made Falcon white? Like,
yeah.
I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
These fucking mouth breathers.
Yeah. It's very exhausting. And granted, because people are assholes, that doesn't mean that they should never cast someone, like change the race of a character, because I don't agree with that. But just as a black person who talks about this stuff all the time, it's exhausting to hear people's bullshit, just racist, homophobic, sexist, misogynistic takes all the time. So if they...
It's kind of exhausting.
Yeah, if they go ahead with a white person, I'm not mad. Go ahead.
Right.
Okay, so next story is about Florence Pugh, our little queen.
Yes.
So in the latest episode of the Town podcast, Deadline's Justin Crowe revealed that Florence Pugh's Yelena is set to lead the MCU's Thunderbolts.
I love that for her.
So she's going to be the HBIC. Go ahead, girlfriend.
You know what I just saw today? That she's going to be in the second Dune movie.
Is she? I fucking love her.
And I saw it and I was just like, I love that for her. I just love that pretty much. I'm not sure what she was in prior to Black Widow, but if that movie didn't do anything else, but it boosted her fucking career into the stratosphere because Baby Girl is in everything now.
Hell yeah. The only thing I ever saw before that she was in was Midsummer. And she was really good in that. That was a fucked up, scary movie, but I loved it. So, shout out.
That's still one that I need to watch because you've recommended it a couple times.
Yeah.
And you and Prince are always talking about that movie.
Yeah. It's good. Okay. More X-Men madness. So we talked about this like a couple weeks ago. D23 is happening. It's coming up. That's going to be September 9th through the 11th. And a couple days ago, Disney tweeted out like a countdown tweet that was like 6 days to go. But they used like a gif of Wolverine like pushing his claws out.
Yeah.
And so the internet went batshit crazy because they're like,
course.
oh my God, this means that they're going to announce something about the X-Men movie. Which is, it's just all rumors. But, you know.
I think, especially with that little teaser part of She-Hulk, I think they're just tickling our balls.
Probably. But, you know, people are so fucking on the edge about this because, like, the Kamala Khan is a mutant. And then that part in the last episode of She-Hulk. And then they also haven't said anything else about, like, the animated X-Men series. So... I'm assuming that if they do make an announcement about the X-Men, it's going to be about the cartoon. There's still like a rumor that's saying that Marvel can't like recast anybody in the X-Men if they begin production on any of those films before 2025. I did not see like a credible source saying this, but that's what most of the internet believes. So if that's the case, it's not going to be anything about a live action X-Men announced anytime soon. So... I don't know.
And that's another thing. Like, these people want X-Men so bad, but they don't really think about the legality of all of these, like, different properties kind of, like, working together and all that stuff. Like, they obviously... I mean, and obviously, I'm not saying that I understand it all, but... It's a lot more. It's a lot more that goes into it other than them just saying, I want to make this movie. Right. Making the movie. Like, it's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Yeah. Not even just writing or production and all that stuff. Like, legally, it's a lot that goes into it.
I hope that's one thing that, like, the casual fan has learned from our podcast. Because we talked about this before every movie. Like, the casting and stuff will happen, like, 6 years before the movie, like, is put out. It's a really long process. So
I had to educate. I showed you that yesterday. I had to educate somebody, and they were like, "Oh, actually, thank you for telling me that because I didn't know that." Yeah, bitch. I know what I'm talking about.
Well, you could just simply Google why hasn't Marvel made an Incredible Hulk movie?
Exactly.
And Google will tell you.
Exactly. For context, I was in a little Instagram beef with somebody yesterday because I be having time. I was off.
You've been squabbling with people on the internet all week.
I have, and it's just like it's only been on my days off. It hasn't been all week. It was mostly just yesterday and today. But somebody was like saying, oh, they should have made a Hulk movie or a Hulk series instead of a She-Hulk series and then introduced She-Hulk in that way. And I was like, they can't. I was like, you haven't realized that they didn't make a single Hulk movie in 15 years or 14 right now. But I was basically like, they legally cannot. They don't have distribution rights until next year.
Yeah.
Until June of 2023, they cannot make a single Hulk movie. He can star in movies, but they cannot make a standalone Hulk movie. until 2023. But I also read on Reddit yesterday that Mark Ruffalo wants to play the Hulk until he is old and gray. He's like, he
Mm-hmm.
wants an old grizzled Hulk. He don't give a fuck. And he said as long as Marvel keep calling, he gonna
Yes,
answer.
yes.
So
And you know,
yeah, and
that's
then
another
I educated the person. They said thanks, I appreciate it. You're welcome, boo. That's what we hear. We here to educate the masses.
that reason is another reason why I don't really want John Krasinski to do Mr. Fantastic, because I know he does not have that mentality. Like, I'm just gonna do it as
Mm-hmm.
long as y'all want me to do it. Like Chris
Yeah,
Hemsworth, like we need actors like that so that they can have
for
the
sure.
freedom to tell the stories that they want, even if that's over the course of 5 to 10 years. You know, like
Exactly.
let them do that. And I feel like in the beginning, John Krasinski was just like, oh, I don't want to do no superhero
Yeah,
movies.
he was. It already sounded like he was kind of on the fence, even if he
Yeah.
was just trying to like yank our chain or whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that he was just like, all right, I'll get the people what they want one time for the one time, and he's
Right.
like, all right, that's it.
Right.
That's all y'all get.
Exactly. um. Oh, one thing that came out of like the She-Hulk conversations is that the MCU has an actual timekeeper, and I think that this is really cool.
Didn't I send that to you, or did Prince send that to you?
Probably both of y'all. I don't know.
That's so
I
funny
didn't come
because
across this on my own.
when I was looking for discussions for this week, and it had like the picture of Kang or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both. I think maybe both of y'all sent it, but there is a person who is in charge of keeping track of the timeline. So for all of the people on the internet who keep thinking that there are gaps and plot holes, it's probably not. You probably just have not seen everything that they're gonna put out. They
Mm-hmm.
are working on it. They have it under
Exactly.
control.
And one of the comments on the Reddit that I sent that was talking about that,
Mm-hmm.
somebody said, "Are we sure the timekeeper isn't just an animatronic robot they're using to distract us from the real villain?" I thought that was funny. And people are like, "Wait, I get that joke." You should. But that sounds like a really cool job.
Yeah.
Because I remember like a long time ago, like not that I'm a Harry Potter fan or anything, but I read that there's somebody's job to make sure that there's not any like continuity in like the scripts and stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're basically just like an expert on Harry Potter, and they just like read through the stuff and they're like, "Oh, that can't happen because this happened in the second movie." Basically, I'm like, that's a cool ass
That's
job.
amazing. Just to be able to like keep track of things that haven't actually happened, because I have a hard time keeping track of things that happen to me. So
I think
it's
that I
amazing.
could do that job.
You could, I feel like, because you are the one out of the two of us who will like pause the TV show and like zoom in on stuff and like be writing
Hmm.
stuff down. So yes.
Oh, just wait.
Yeah.
Just you wait. Half my notes are things that I wrote, that I paused the TV and was like, "What does that say?"
Oh my god. So speaking of timeline discrepancies, I want to talk about DC for a second.
Okay.
So they have reshuffled all of their movie releases yet again. I think this is like the second or third time.
Wow.
So just to let y'all know, Warner Brothers has pushed Aquaman back from March 2023. Originally, that was supposed to come out this year, I believe.
Okay.
Now it's coming out in December 2023. And
Okay.
then
Are they
Shazam,
recording this movie?
all of this shit is done.
Oh.
Aquaman,
Oh,
Shazam,
obviously, if it
Black
was supposed to come out this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. But it's done. Like, all these
Right.
movies are done. And they just keep pushing them back. Shazam was supposed to come out December of this year. It's going to now come out in March, where Aquaman was supposed to come out. Black Adam is still coming out in October, which I didn't even think about that. And then The Flash is scheduled for June 2023. Maybe. Probably. Who knows?
We'll see.
But yeah,
Who all
they.
gonna be there?
Right. Very much who all gonna be there. So yeah, I don't know. They haven't gotten their shit together. There's also rumors that Henry Cavill is gonna be Superman again.
Hmm.
So my husband, who he keeps up with the DC stuff more than I do, he thinks that they're shooting additional footage to put in those movies to keep the continuity going, because they want to, like, the guy who wants to oversee things. They want the Kevin Feige like leader to come. They want to keep Henry Cavill in them. Like that group. They want to keep that going. So,
but but they've already been doing this very poorly for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's like these actors are going to be getting older.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not sure how old Henry Cavill is, but Jason Momoa is in his 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in really good shape. But, like, how long is he really going to be able to play
Well, you know,
Aquaman?
The Rock, like 200 years old right now. He still be in the gym every day, like it's no tomorrow.
That's because he puts creatine in his steroids for breakfast.
Yeah.
that's the breakfast of champions right there. Pre-workout and steroids.
Mm-hmm. With a plain chicken breast to wash it all down.
You know how I feel about chicken. That just really made me want to.
Sorry. So yeah, that's the news. That's all we got right now. Let's do our discussion topic.
Yes. So as I stated, I was looking through Reddit yesterday because we realized we did not have a discussion topic for today. Mm-hmm. So I was just scrolling through Reddit or whatever to see what I could find. And I saw this and I thought it was really fun and we could talk about it. So it says Marvel makes an anthology show about normal people dealing with the crazy events in the MCU. What sort of plots do you want to see?
So I had to think about this. I'm happy that you told me in advance because off the spot, none. Have nothing. But I like this concept because it's very interesting. And to me, like a lot of the Disney Plus TV shows are kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Like how like Miss Marvel, before she got her powers, she was going to like a MCU Comic-Con or like a Avengers Comic-Con. And she was very into that stuff and had the merch and all of that in her room. Mm-hmm. And the same with like, what's it called? Hawkeye, with how Kate Bishop was just like, she saw Hawkeye at the Battle of New York and was like, right. Oh my God. So.
And even before you mention that, because I don't want to forget this, even there was one of those shorts, those Marvel one-shots or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was basically about after the incident, people stole the weapons and they were going to go like rob banks and stuff like that with Chitauri weapons. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was even really cool because that's like, you know, not everybody is going to be inspired to be a freaking hero like Kate Bishop was. Yeah. Some people like this person and like Toombs, they're going to be like, yo, how can I make some money off of this?
Yes. Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool too.
I wish they would do more like content like that, like those one shots. Because I feel like nobody really talks about them, but it's good stuff.
Also, I think has a lot to do because like I don't know, I am not a DVD person. I know you are. Mm-hmm. I don't know too many people that are DVD people, and all of these were originally on the DVDs. Mm-hmm. And then too, I don't know a lot of people that actually watch the extra features on DVDs too, besides like deleted scenes. I watched deleted scenes, but like other than that, like I don't think I would have even noticed these. Yeah. So hopefully now that they're on Disney Plus, maybe more people are like watching them if they're watching everything in order because it places them in the order that they're supposed to be in. Mm-hmm. So hopefully like people are watching that and they're like, oh, let's do some more of these. Yeah. Or maybe they'll just keep doing shows. Yeah.
How many scenarios did you come up with? I came up with 4. I have 4.
Oh, I was just going to talk about it off the top of the dome.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. Check you out. Okay, so I'm going to start off with one that I came up with because Prince came up with one. His first one was really good. So I want what you call it? A ABC style like medical drama show about the hospital that Doctor Strange and Christine Palmer worked at.
That's cute.
I feel like they have seen some really weird shit outside of the Doctor Strange stuff. Like they're in New York downtown with Spider-Man and Hawkeye and them running around. They probably even seen some crazy cases. So I want to see that. That is very true. Yeah, I want to see that show.
I was thinking it'd be cool to see, like from the best friend's perspective. What it's like for your best friend to turn into a superhero. Yeah. Or whatever. And like, because we get stuff like, you know, Ned or whatever, but it's all still from Peter's perspective and stuff like that. Like, I wonder what it's like. Like, was Ned on the internet, like,
Arguing with trolls.
Yes.
Spider-Man and shit. Fuck you, bitch.
Exactly. I think that'd be really cool.
That would be you.
For real. I'd fucking go hard. Not even on my days off. Like, literally, I'd go to the bathroom at work just to argue with people on the internet.
Girl,
if I was my bestie.
If I was She-Hulk, yeah, Shani would be on the fucking Shade Room.
I would be your spokesperson. When it say sources close to She-Hulk, they'd be talking about me. Every single time. It would be me. I am the baby sister, but I have that little sister energy of like, I can say shit about you, but bet nobody else better say nothing about you. Mm-hmm. I'll go to fucking war.
She go, mink, mink. That's Shani.
Mink, mink, mink.
Okay, so speaking of Hulks, I'm going to say Princess because his was about the Hulk. So he said he wanted to see a show about Harlem after, the Hulk smashed Harlem. Yeah. And he said he wants to see it from like the perspective of like insurance adjusters. Oh. No, like
true. Oh, fuck, yeah.
Yeah, insurance adjusters and how they're dealing with that and how race plays into it because we know Harlem is a predominantly black and historically black city. Yeah. And I was like, when he said, I was like, look at you using your brain.
I know. Okay,
Prince. I do want to see that. That's something I never really thought about. Like, yeah, he fucked up Harlem, and Mariah Dillard was probably pissed.
That's why I was like, if bringing Luke Cage into that too.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I think it would also be interesting to see from like a therapist perspective after the blip. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
because it's this girl that makes this content on TikTok. And it's basically about how much anxiety, like separation anxiety, people that survived the blip would have. Ooh. And stuff like that. And like it was like one where it was a person that blipped, but then they came back, and then like she was like supposed to meet them for lunch or something, and they were late, and she had like how anxious you would probably get like when somebody isn't where they're supposed to be on time. Mm-hmm. Or it was another one when she just wanted to go everywhere with them, like, oh, I'm just going to the store, like, oh, I'll come with you, like, wow. They just didn't want to be like left alone and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, fuck, like that's deep, like, and it's just like, oh, and it's like you watch it and you're like, oh, this is cute content, and then like after 2 minutes you're fucking crying.
Right.
So I think, and I know we always talk about this, like especially when we watched like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because they kind of like really touched on what it was probably like for people getting displaced and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But like the emotional trauma that people had to deal with after, would have probably had to deal with after the blip. Yeah. Whew, them therapists was probably cashing in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. When you mentioned that though, like my mind went in a completely different direction. So I recently read the book Verity by Colleen, somebody, I can't remember her name, but it's like a romance thriller. And so I'm just thinking of like a romance thriller TV show that takes place with like, say a lady, her husband was blipped away, and then the neighbor across the street, his wife was blipped away. Then they end up, comforting each other during those 5 years, and then their people come back. Drama.
That happened on Manifest.
Get Shonda Rhimes to write it. Come on.
Right? That happened on Manifest. Like the girl, I mean, spoiler alert if you ain't seen the show, but I mean, if you ain't watched the show after last year, you're probably not going to watch it. But it was like the girl blipped away, her fiance, well, he was supposed to be her fiance, but, he stayed. And then it's 5 years later, she come back. Her best friend and her ex-fiance is married.
Wow. The murders that would take place.
Because I'd be like, so was you scheming on my man the whole time?
Oof.
Because why would that, like, if something ever happened to you, I would not be like, all right, Prince.
That happens so much in TV shows, and I always be like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. What?
No, I've never once been like, yeah, I'm your kid's godmama. So if something happened to you, I'm gonna just marry your husband. How about that? Like, that's fucking weird.
Like, I know that's probably happened in real life. It happens so much on TV, but I don't feel like that would happen with anybody that I know.
No,
No,
not at all.
No,
and it's just like, because like I view you as my sister, Prince damn near like my brother.
Right?
Like, I don't.
Never.
It's fucking disgusting.
It's gross. It's borderline
it's almost
incest.
Like incest.
Right.
For our new listeners, that happens a lot. One more I have is a home makeover show for people whose homes were destroyed by the Avengers on HGTV.
Yes. They just walk into like the kitchen. That's just a big hole. So this is where the Chitauri flyer fell in.
It's very open concept.
We're thinking about putting a skylight here now. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, that's really funny.
The Property Brothers viewership would just skyrocket.
I know, for real. Oh my goodness.
I love that. I was thinking about a college like style TV show. Maybe like, what's the Blackish spinoff? Grownish. But like with the college roommate is a kid from New Asgard.
And that's cute.
Their adventures. Maybe like a dating show.
I was thinking like a Grownish, but on I guess it's not there no more, but the Avengers compound.
Oh yeah. With like the young Avengers.
Yes.
Oh, it should be like a Big Brother, like a reality style show.
Yes.
That
would be really funny.
Yeah. And then my last one was an Abbott Elementary style show about the school that the human sprite ends up going to. And I feel like she would end up like fucking Esther from the orphan.
No, her going to public school she was damn near a villain in Eternals, but Facts. I feel like people kind of forget about that movie.
Yeah, I think they do.
I think it's completely forgotten about, but I feel like her going to public school is like her villain origin story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she thought she wanted to be human. Okay.
Right. So many people become villains from going to public school. So good luck with that, Sprite.
But yeah, those were the last ones I had. And I can't really take all the credit for that one. Prince kind of came up with that. I just added some sauce on top of it. But yeah.
You sprinkled it.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
All right. Well.
That was fun.
Let's talk about Shitfist.
Let's.
After this break. After a few words from our sponsors.
Yes.
All right. So, Iron Fist. We pick up with Danny and the rest of the mystery gang trying to get information out of Gal at Colleen's dojo with little results. Harold has also risen from the dead again with less functioning brain cells than before. Over the course of these 5 episodes, we finally get a mini backstory for Colleen and where she got her training. Spoiler alert, it was not a magical monastery. Or was it? Ward, the only character with a functioning character arc and acting skills, faces the consequences.
The same fucking thing. Sorry, go ahead.
He faces the consequences of hiding his father all of this time and then killing him. And Danny Rand, well, he is the Iron Fist and he won't let you forget it. That's my summary.
I loved it. Loved it. Absolutely fucking loved it.
So, when Harold came up out of that water, it really reminded me of Death Becomes Her. Have you seen that movie? Mm-mm. It is immaculate. Okay? Immaculate. Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, perfection. But anyway, he kills his wife. She's already taken the potion to make her, undead. Mm-hmm. And she wakes up and comes back and she's like, Ernest, you pushed me down the stairs. And that's what this reminded me of.
I feel like it's a more accurate description of how it would be if you came back from from the dead. Mm-hmm. Because Jon Snow came back from the dead and his ass was like, all right, let me go hang some people. I'm done. My watch has ended. Fuck y'all.
He woke up like, first of all, bitch.
Exactly.
Harold, he had to reboot. He had a factory reset.
He definitely had to do a factory reset.
I was really glad that this whole like Frankenstein monster type thing, I was so happy that did not last more than one episode, because after a few minutes, like when he was stumbling around New York, I was like, I'm already tired of this.
Yes. It was funny, but it was like after he threw up like muck, I was just like, I'm over it.
Okay.
I think it's really funny that, I don't think I mentioned this last week, but it's really funny that Ward has him saved in his phone as Frank N. Stein.
I never even paid attention to that.
I meant to mention that last week. It is, and because at first I kept just seeing Frank Stein, and I was like, whatever. But it like lingered on his phone for a second, and I was like, this motherfucker is funny.
I'm so proud of Ward, because I didn't think that he was that clever. Good job.
So funny. And then Joy's like, who's Frank Stein? Babe, you got to read the whole thing.
Right. Read it again slow.
It's like those, that game where it's like a bunch of random words, but it ends up saying something different. Yeah. Like, oh, it was beautiful.
That was good. But I think he learned his lesson for being lazy, because when his daddy killed people, he chopped them bodies up first, then you dispose them. If he would have chopped Harold up, he would have been just a torso in that water forever. I don't know. Yeah. Pretty much. So,
all right, let's just say R.I.P. Kyle before we go any further.
Yeah, he didn't really even deserve that. Like, he literally thought he had a friend. He was like, oh, you acting totally different. We eating ice cream and shit together.
What's so funny is that Harold asked Kyle, like, oh, if you realize that you could live forever, like, what would you do? And Kyle said, I would eat ice cream for breakfast. And I said, whoa, dream big. And I said, I bet it would be vanilla or Neapolitan when he's feeling spicy. And I was so fucking right.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, what would you do if you found out that you could live forever? I have no fucking clue. I probably
whatever I wanted.
Yeah, definitely that. But I don't know. Like,
I'll tell you one thing: I wouldn't be eating fucking carrots and broccoli all the fucking time.
Hell no, because I want to know what the dead person metabolism is like. Because if you can eat whatever you want and have no stomach pain, no weight gain, no allergic reactions. Yeah, I'm eating everything.
And you know what's so funny that you mentioned that? It's almost like when Harold was brought back the first time, he was just like, okay, like, I'm not about to, like, waste my second chance. He was drinking green shit that looked like chlorophyll. He was working out a lot and all that stuff. But as soon as he realized, like, oh, I could keep coming back, he threw that green shit away. He's like, I'm drinking scotch. We eating ice cream. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's actually very accurate. Because if you realize, like, none of this shit really has any consequences. If I have a heart attack, I'm going to just come back alive anyway. Like, you might as well just live it up.
Living forever and being super mega rich like that is probably the best case scenario. And I feel like that's the goal. You have to figure out a way to become very rich, because after a while, like after one lifetime of working 9 to 5, you're not trying to do that shit no more.
No, and that actually reminds me of a meme. It was just like, why is it that all the vampires in vampire movies are always rich? And somebody was like, if you've been alive since 1897 and you haven't figured out a way to be rich, then what the fuck are you doing with your life? And I'm like, that's
exactly
pretty much, that's very accurate, because if you can't die, like, you really don't have to have any, I know this is really bad to say, but it's like, you don't have to have any, like, scruples about how you make your money either. You gonna live forever anyway. I don't know, but I still do think that one lifetime is enough. More than enough.
Woo. So, okay. Yeah, Harold, the thing with him coming back to life too is that he's like, I guess he loses his humanity each time he's resurrected or whatever. So the next time, like, his temper is just wild as fuck. How Joy didn't end up getting got, amazing.
I don't understand. Joy is the dumbest bitch. Like,
and she didn't start off stupid like this either.
She didn't.
And it's the 180 that she took, amazing.
She was so dumb by the end of the season. I was just like, because she was already teetering on stupid regardless. Like,
yeah.
But I don't know. Like, first of all, her reaction when she first saw her dead daddy after 13 years was not realistic. She was just like, oh my God, Dad, is that you? No.
I would have been scared.
I would have been terrified.
Yeah. Who the fuck are you and why do you look like my daddy?
Not only do you look the same as you did before, well, I should say not only are you not dead, but you look the same as you did 13 years ago. You haven't aged. Like, that would have scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. I would have thought that I was tripping balls. I would have thought that it was a ghost or something, anything, before I'm believing that that's my actual dad.
Yes.
And so the thing that was really killing me about Joy is that, okay, you have maneuvered some of these things. We've seen her be able to use her fucking brain. She figured out the blackmail scheme, which whether it would have worked or not, she at least had an idea. Then she figured out, like, okay, the ward is keeping something from me and it's about this building. I'm going to figure it out. She went to Scooby-Doo some shit. Good on you, girl. But my thing is, you done figured out that your daddy has been brought back from the dead. You done seen ninjas. You done seen Danny Fist glowing like a damn lightning bug. You done seen all these weird things. Y'all talked about the incident in New York. You know about aliens. You know about a god of thunder. Why can you not believe that your zombie daddy is fucking crazy when your brother tell you that?
Because she is so desperate for her father's approval.
It's sick.
And it's like daddy issues on like a whole other level. Because she was mad at Ward for not telling her that her dad was alive, but not mad at her dad for not telling Ward to tell her that he was alive.
Right.
Like, that didn't make any sense to me. Like, and it was just like, she saw the anger in him. She saw how, like, basically it was something about him that was off. And she was still just like, but that's my dad. Like, girl, fuck you and your daddy. Right.
Like, are you choosing to ignore it? And then, like, when Ward was like, he was trying to save her. And I feel like he stayed in the character that we saw. And she didn't. Because remember that scene in a couple episodes ago when she was in there, like, literally crying on his shoulder, like, we used to be so close, you don't even talk to me anymore, boo-boo-boo. Like, to make it seem like at one point in time, they really had that brother and sister relationship.
And then at a certain point, a wall went up. I don't know. Was it around the fucking time your dad died?
Right. But then my thing is, when Ward is coming to you like a brother, like, I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to tell you, how are you not choosing your brother? Like, through the past 15 or whatever years don't mean nothing. Like, he was there for you still. Even if he had a wall up, he was actually there. And your dad wasn't. Like, they don't understand siblings. Because siblings don't do this. No. Siblings call you and be like, let me tell you what your mama just said to me.
Exactly. It's always going to be you and your siblings versus your parents, period.
Yes.
Like, so not saying that you like love them more, but the relationship is different. Your parents is the fucking ops. Like, like, it's shit that, like, I have, obviously, like, it's different because, like, the age gap with me and my siblings is, like, crazy. But, like, my sister that I actually, like, grew up with, we had to team up against our parents and basically, like, be there for, not team up against them, but be there for each other and stuff like that. So it's just like, I'm definitely not choosing my parents over you. Like,
it's just, I feel like a lot of times in TV shows, they don't, like, really capture brother and sister relationships accurately.
They either make them, like, oddly sexual.
Yeah.
Or they do this, like, weird, like, sibling rivalry that doesn't I don't have anybody in my family or anybody that I know personally that has, like, this crazy sibling rivalry.
Me either. Like, I don't maybe it's a black thing, I don't know, but we cousins and siblings.
Exactly.
Road dog for life.
Exactly. I was just about to say, you ride for them.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that was very interesting and just irritating mostly. And And then when they both just turned against Ward, I felt so fucking bad for him. You know the part where Bakuto them showed up at the penthouse, and he was finna chop off Harold's head.
Should have let him.
And his speech that he gave to Ward, I just want to say you're a fucking disappointment. I hate you.
What did I put? I was just like, he chose his last fucking words to be an absolute fucking villain.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that's something else. But I was just like, he chose his last words to be a villain. Like, that was really how you wanted to end your life. You ain't want to say, well, did he say something to Joy too?
He did.
He said, he's like, I should have trusted you. Like, furthering, like, the freaking divide between Joy and Ward.
Just twisting the knife. Just fucking terrible. But Joy ass, she didn't even say, like, she didn't even think, like, damn, that was kind of fucking
like,
harsh, Dad.
My dad from 13 years ago would have never said that to my fucking brother.
Yeah, but then the bitch too was just like, Ward, you betrayed us. And he like, I'm trying to do the right thing. Exactly. He's fucking crazy. Do you not see this?
But she do. That's the thing. It's just like she knows that, like, she just ignoring all these red flags because she want her daddy back in her life. When it's just like, girl, it's not worth it. And then she just gonna blame everything on Danny at the end.
That end part
pissed me off. The only part that I liked about it was my queen Gal.
Yes. I was as much as y'all want to show Madame Gal, keep showing her. I love her.
I call her an unbothered queen. I love her.
I even liked Harold. Harold probably might be my favorite person because at least he kept shit interesting.
He did.
Okay?
I was like, he was a pretty good villain. Did I say that?
Yes. He was good at being bad, and I enjoy it.
I said that he was a good villain, but I was like, I hope that them cremating him would actually work. I don't know, because we saw what's the name on fire, Nobu on fire, and then he came back. But maybe if you turn to dust, you done for good. But I was just like, good villain, but let's move on.
Yes.
And then I said Ward is probably the most well-rounded character on this show.
For sure. Joy, I don't know what
we were rooting for you.
Right. Learn something from this.
Grow from this.
Grow from love.
Grow from love. Bing, bing, bing.
Y'all need to watch First Wives Club. I know y'all didn't understand that. But anyway.
It's so surprising how many people haven't seen that movie. I'm like, it is a classic. Like, what have you been doing for the last 20, 30 years?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
It was something else I was going to say about Joy.
That she's
I don't know. Yeah, I just want to say, this morning, I woke up and I had like 20 minutes left of episode 13. And just the feeling of just like joy when the credits started to roll. It's parts of this show is not supposed to be funny. My mom is here. She kept hearing me laugh from the other room. She's like, what are you watching? I'm like, I'm watching this for the podcast. She's like, it's supposed to be funny. And I was like, no.
It's not.
This man, Finn Jones, is acting so fucking terrible. Just on top of just like the continuity issues with like how these characters are written within the season.
Yeah.
Then his acting is just like...
It's not good. When he's mad,
it's progressively getting worse.
It's like when he's upset, it's like I don't believe it. It's like I don't believe any emotion that he's trying to display, and it's like I don't understand. Like, was he this bad in Game of Thrones, or maybe he just didn't have that many lines?
He didn't talk that much, and I think that's what it is. It's never been great. But it was not as bad as it was through 9 through 13.
Yeah, I
agree. Was really fucking bad. And maybe it's because those episodes heavily focused on his part of the journey. Like the first couple episodes, we got probably equal amount of the Meachums and Colleen and them as much as we did with Danny. But we didn't really get as much as in the last couple episodes. And it's just like him having like this PTSD stuff that I feel like... It was a little bit hinted at, but not consistently enough for it to pay off the way that it did. Like the amount of PTSD flashbacks that they were showing.
Right.
was irritating me because of how he talking to somebody and then he just goes
blackout,
start breathing, just
yeah,
it's fucking terrible. And my thing is like, I think the thing that they're trying to like illustrate is that he's very immature because he's been gone and he left as a kid and he hasn't really grown. I'm confused though because he grew up with other kids in Kunlun. And just because it's a different culture and maybe on a different realm does not mean that he would not have been able to observe other people and learn maturity, learn manhood from these monks or whoever was training him.
When you think about it, like it was that scene with Davos and Claire when like they don't, like for some people that were, raised in a monastery with monks and they're supposed to be all peaceful and stuff, they don't address their actual like feelings. They just push it down and be like, oh, that doesn't exist. So it's just like I also feel like a part of maturing is acknowledging things that happened in your life and not just kind of trying to suppress it.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just how he acts. He's very childlike in a grown-up body. Like,
that is
I understand
true.
like what you're talking about, and I agree with you. I 100% agree with that part. But it's just like how he speaks, how he approaches people, like how you just going around
very
telling
trusting
people,
and gullible.
Yeah, and I just like I don't think that would happen unless you were like really on the streets or just in the forest by yourself, like fucking Jungle Book.
No,
then
I agree because even like Claire says, she's like, oh, I like noticed that you have like this sweet innocence, and yeah, it's almost like he was like raised by wolves.
Yeah,
like he had like no human interaction or something like that. I do agree with that.
But then he'll go through like these stories of like, oh yeah, we used to do this in Kunlun. Like it seems like he had like not an American childhood, but a childhood with other peers.
Maybe it's him just trying to like suppress like the trauma and like mentally. You know how they say, sorry, this is kind of dark, but they say that like girls that were like sexually abused, like their vocal cords like stop developing. So like when when some women have like really high pitched voices and stuff like that, it's based off of like sexual trauma from their past. So maybe like his trauma just emotionally stunted him.
Okay, that's we gonna say that to say this. We still can't say Finn Jones' acting skills.
No,
for the character.
As far as the characterization goes, like that would make more sense because, like you said, like there were adults around, and then it does seem like even once he got there, they tried to beat some sense into him and stuff like that. So maybe like he's just repressed into a certain state of mind.
Yeah, I agree with what Claire said at the end of the fucking episode, the 13th episode, which we gonna talk about Claire, but I just want to say this one part. She's just like, okay, so what are you gonna do next? He's like, I'm gonna go back to Kunlun, and she just took a deep ass sigh
and she's like, I'm not even hungry no more.
You need to go to therapy.
No, I was like, I had said that, and then she said, y'all both need psychological help.
Yes, she said both of you bitches is crazy. I gotta go. Like. Rosario Dawson is one of my favorite parts of this episode because or these episodes because all throughout she's just the voice of reason and nobody's listening to her.
No,
and she's just like,
she's like, so y'all think that y'all can just punch y'all way through life? Like y'all both are very traumatized people, and y'all both need to address what's going on in your brain. You can't just like punch your way out of everything.
Like the way that they think about shit, like. He's mad and going through his PTSD crazy stuff, and he's just like, I have to kill him because Madame Gal said I won't be the Iron Fist, and I need to kill him. And then Claire and Colleen's like, no, like you shouldn't do this, like murder, I don't know. Then Colleen dumbass comes to the conclusion that I need to kill Harriet for him. And Claire is just like,
what?
What?
And Claire's like, is there no version of this that doesn't end up in murder?
Right. She's like, I'm not trying to go to jail. What the hell?
You know that TikTok? Marcel goes, it's cool when they do it.
Oh my God.
I was like, I was so done.
I just, I know she was so exhausted. Like, I know Claire has seen some stuff. Okay, she done been with Luke Cage, people shooting at her. She done had ninjas attacking her friend at the hospital. But I still feel like Daredevil and Luke Cage are still like reasonable humans for the most part, or they just don't involve her in like the crazy illegal stuff that they be doing.
Exactly. That's mostly what it is.
Yeah. And they just like, come on, the three of us, we're going to go do murder. And she's just like, wait a minute. Wait. I'm here to stitch people up. Yeah. I'm not trying to do none of that. Yeah.
One thing that I did want to talk about is the fact that, we're going to talk about Davos for a second.
Okay.
I knew that was him.
He just shows up.
Yeah, and I knew it was him. I was like, that's got to be Davos. And it was. And at first he's like, oh, we're besties. I miss my best friend. You just left us. But then, like, you can just kind of tell that he was jealous because he was supposed to be the Iron Fist. He had been training his whole life to be the Iron Fist. And then his white boy show up and appropriates his culture and steals the Iron Fist from him. And then leaves with it. And I thought that he became the Iron Fist and he was there for still some time. No, he pretty much left immediately. After. And Davos is like, well, you left your people and you also deserted me, which is fair. And then once he starts finding out about Colleen and stuff like that, he's just like, oh, you're the hand. You need to die. And then saying that she's been brainwashed. But it's just like, but both of y'all were basically raised in cults. Like,
I wrote that down. I was like, oh, so Colleen is from a cult. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then come to find out she been lying. And she is actually the hand, part of the hand and everything. And I just feel like her and Davos were basically the same, and Danny was just kind of in the middle because he obviously cares about both of them. But, they were trained to hate each other. They don't even know neither one of them know the full story about what's actually going on. They only told bits and pieces of information and let them hate enough of the other person to kill on command without, it's on sight basically. And they were brainwashed into thinking that they're the enemy, and it's just like, y'all both were raised in fucking cults. Like,
yeah,
I don't even know another way to explain it. Like, you hate her, you don't know her. Danny is somebody that you trust is saying she's a good person. I know she lied, but she's not like them. She's like, and he's like, oh, well, maybe she defected just so that she could get your trust and kill you and blah, blah, blah. Like,
because she wanted to be with the Iron Fist. And she like, bitch, I don't even...
Yeah.
What?
Exactly. It was just driving me crazy because I was just like, wow, like, you can't, and it just kind of reminds me of like people that are raised in like certain religions, and it's just like you are only taught one thing and you think that everybody else is the enemy. But
they be very close-minded.
And it's just like and it was on both sides. And I think that's why, and Danny is basically like, I'm gonna choose what the fuck I want to do. And that's like something that like, one thing that I at least like respect about him. Like, at least he was able to kind of like, he's like, this is not a bad person. Like, sure, she was grooming kids for the hand, but she thought she was doing the right thing. And then Davos think he doing the right thing. So it's like, maybe you should just use your own common sense and your own judgment and not let cult leaders tell you what to think. That's just
and I think by the end, that's what the conclusion that Danny came to. Like, I need to really figure out like what this means for me. And I do agree. Like, he should have never like attempted to be the Iron Fist, knowing that he had unresolved issues elsewhere. Even though he was a kid, but this is part of the whole like, what are the leaders in Kunlun doing? Like,
because they are the ones that wanted him to try and do this. So it's like, y'all didn't realize that his heart was somewhere else.
Yeah, it's a bad situation, but that's what you get when you don't actually talk to people. You just try to tell them like to hide your feelings and beat his past life out of him. Like, it's not gonna work. So it's not. I want to be mad at Danny, but it's not all his fault because he was just going through the motions and being in the situation that he was in and making the best out of it. As a person who likes to be very good at anything I attempt to do, I probably would have did the same shit. If I'm in Colleen and I think this is where I'm finna be for the rest of my life, I'm finna try to be the best bitch out here.
Exactly. And then he's like, oh, an escape. I get to leave.
Right. So, yeah, I feel like I would have done the same thing if I was Danny. I don't think it's the right thing to do, but that's what happens when you let a colonizer come and you train them up. I mean, this is Kim Kardashian in box braids. It's the same shit.
Exactly. I really put that he appropriated Kunlun culture and then dipped.
And then dipped out. And Davos was definitely jealous. I think he was more jealous when he saw, like, oh, you out here, you're rich, you're getting coochie. Like, wow. Mm-hmm. And you the Iron Fist, and you just fucking left me. You didn't say nothing. Like, he was mad the whole time. He was a hater.
He was in his fifis.
Definitely was. And then at the end, so what is he trying to do with Joy? Is he working with Gal now? Or was she just, like,
I think she
in the
was
wings?
Just there.
Okay.
I think she was just there having fun, living life.
This little scene was really just like a Hail Mary if they get a second season. I feel like they were just like, let's just throw some shit on the screen and maybe we can pique somebody's interest into another season. Yeah.
I don't understand why, like, because I've said this before. If I'm friends with somebody and then we stop being friends, I'm not about to, like, actively want them to... They need to shut the fuck up. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. That just made me lose my whole train of thought.
So if you stop being somebody's friend.
Oh, right. If I stop being somebody's friend, I'm not about to actively, like, pray for their downfall. I'm not about to, like, I'm not about to talk shit about them. I might actually talk shit about them. But I'm not going to do it publicly. And I'm not going to, like, want them to fail and stuff like that.
I'm not going to go befriend your enemies.
Exactly.
Like,
so it's very much weird on Joy and Davos's part because obviously Danny already has some trust issues because, like, he thought that these people were his family and then Harold betrayed him. And so now... fucking Ward is his only friend, basically. Like, are you fucking kidding me, Joy? Like, you had the opportunity to get rid of him. She made no
sense. She made no sense being there at the end. It made no sense. Who wrote this? It don't make no sense.
It doesn't, because he's like trying to, like, manipulate the whole situation. Like, oh, didn't your life fall apart after Danny came back? No, he was actually helping the company.
Yeah. He was.
He didn't do
anything to
technically,
Joy.
It was Ward. If you really want to think about it, it was actually
and he getting ready to
Ward.
ran into the ground too.
Mm-hmm.
Without Harold telling him every move. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but yeah, I don't know. I really expected Joy to be just on a beach somewhere, resting and healing her wound because she was just shot. She saw a whole bunch of crazy shit, like some ninjas almost beheaded her daddy in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you knew that your dad framed Danny because you confronted him about it.
Exactly.
And now you're mad at Danny and plotting against him?
Exactly.
It don't make no sense,
that
y'all.
It doesn't make any sense. Use your common sense. Is this camera on?
Right.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense at all. And then the fact that, like, okay, honestly, yeah, it was all her dad's fault. It was Harold all along.
All of it. The whole shit.
Like, everything from jump. He's talking about he wanted to kill Danny's daddy 30 fucking years ago.
Yeah. And before Danny was even born.
Exactly. And then he was the one that brought the hand. And I think I touched on this last week when I was just like, Harold. It was Harold. Harold did it. Mm-hmm. It was all him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wanted the hand a part of the company. He knew that he was dying, so he made this deal with the hand to get rid of rid of Wendell. And then when Wendell found out about it, Harold wanted to have his whole fucking family killed.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't get over you calling him Wendell. I was trying to hold it together.
I was too. Every time I say it, I want to laugh. But yeah, so it's just like it was literally your father that did this. He was trying to have Danny killed, and Danny, by some stroke of luck, apparently according to Gal, he already had some type of power in him, and that's why he, survived that plane crash and everything. But Harold wanted his ass dead too.
Yeah,
he
if
wanted
Harold had just, if he would have just accepted his fate that he was going to die of cancer, none of this stuff would have happened.
Exactly.
So I mean, you got to blame the right person. Exactly. And I feel like if she would just go sit and talk to her brother and get the full story, and then sit down and talk to Danny and get the full story, then you would start, like, you'll start saying, like, oh, okay. Because Gal laid the whole thing out for Danny.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Harold confessed everything else to Danny before he died. So we know exactly what happened. Joy is the only idiot running around here trying to put stuff together that's already, like, we know.
Exactly. All she got to do is talk to the people that's actually in her life.
I cannot believe that.
And her fucking daddy needed to die. If she didn't realize that, then she's really a dumber bitch than I thought she was.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to say about Shitfist season 1?
No.
Well, I would give.
I did want to mention that there was a picture of Stan Lee.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was cute.
And it was a very ironic billboard, a Rand billboard in the background too.
Yeah.
But we ain't got it. It's not really important. It was just something that I noticed. Thought, hey, baby.
I was just gonna say that I would give the Iron Fist 1 out of 6 Infinity Stones.
I agree with that. And it had the potential to be a really good show with better writing, better character development. No Finn Jones. Who could they have gotten to play this character? I was thinking about this last night and I couldn't think of anybody.
Let me think. Who?
Zac Efron. I don't know.
I mean, I would have rather watched him do it.
Facts.
Honestly, I just.
But he would have been too fine. He would have been too fine to be in this role.
Yeah. I hope that
Timothée Chalamet. He was too young, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he could play it now, but I don't want to see Iron Fist no more. I don't like the character, or maybe it's just the characterization. Like how you punch. He punched the fucking power thing with the Iron Fist, and then went like this afterwards.
Yeah,
that pissed me off. You can he don't even know how. I don't.
He got shot. He got shot through the hand. Healed it with the Iron Fist, but a little sparkles hurt you.
Yeah, please, Kevin Feige. I know y'all listen. We don't want this.
Yeah, it's a really dumb power set.
Yeah,
because you're not bulletproof. You can't like regenerate the rest of your body. At least like Kamala, like she can have her fist, but she can also like generate that into something else that's useful.
Yeah.
This is a very dumb power set. Like I'd be mad if it was like, if the choosing hat chose my superpower for me and it chose an Iron Fist, and I'd be like, cool. I punched myself to death.
Oh my god! All right, let's take a break, and then we'll talk about the show that we really want to talk about.
Exactly. This is actually the She-Hulk show.
Right. All right. She-Hulk episode 3.
Let's get into it, yeah.
What do you want to talk about first?
Girl, it don't even matter.
Okay, so the fourth wall breaks in this show are so just layered and just so perfection. Like the first one when she's driving in the car, she's like,
yes.
Don't remember whose show this actually is.
Yes.
I think she's speaking directly to the men. It's like whoever wrote this show was in a fucking bag the whole time.
Yes.
Love that for them, because even with the fourth wall breaks, but also like the news stories and like the people on the internet in their universe.
Yes.
It's almost like I was watching a show. I was like, is this real life? Like,
no, it's very, what do they say? It's very meta.
Yeah. Exactly.
I would love to read some of the quotes.
Please.
All right, so one, they took Hulk's manhood away, then gave it to a woman. We have seen comments like this on the internet. We got to have affirmative action with superheroes now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking
Hard
wow.
Seltzer Steve says, no more female superheroes, please. And it's really funny to me that Marvel had his name be Hard Seltzer Steve because it's very it's very telling of a guy's personality. If that's like,
yeah,
one, if that's your drink, I fuck with hard seltzers. But if that's what you ride so hard for hard seltzers that you made your name on the internet, Hard Seltzer Steve.
Stupid.
That says a lot about that implies a lot about your personality.
Yes.
Okay, another one. Why are you turning every superhero into a girl? No one asked for that. Why everything gotta be female now? Mom's Favorite says, so we have a Me Too movement and now all the male heroes are gone. And then Negative Nancy says something, but they don't show it. And then somebody else says, I don't have a problem with female heroes, but make your own.
Oh my God.
It's very telling that all of these people are saying female.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the last one that I have is, I like the idea of her. I just wish she would use her platform to stand up for the endangered lemurs. It's like she doesn't even care. Whoever came up with this shit was a freaking genius.
Yes, they spent a lot of time on social media, obviously, because wow.
It's really just like they were like, we already know how the internet in real life is going to respond to a She-Hulk. So let's just get ahead of the curve.
Let's just hold up a mirror.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really what they did.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so ironic.
After watching this scene, I looked at Prince and I was like, this is a little on the nose, isn't it? We both just started dying laughing.
Yes.
Like, wow. Amazing.
It's just so funny to me that the men that are like these men are not going to fucking get it. Like, they're not. And that's the saddest
they're
part.
They're not. It flew right over their head.
And that's the saddest part. Like, I really wish that they'd be like, oh, that's what I sound like, and maybe not say shit like that. But, excuse me, but, they're not going to.
No. And then the thing that makes the least amount of sense is them being upset that She-Hulk is a girl. Like, oh, they're making all the superheroes women. A woman didn't create She-Hulk.
Yeah.
A woman did not write that comic book, did not create that character. I'm sure a woman did not make the decision to make a She-Hulk show. I'm pretty sure it was Kevin Feige and a group of other people that were probably mostly men. Yeah. Like, y'all mad at yourselves. You mad at your people.
Yeah. And this is a conversation that we had this morning because, again, I was arguing with people on the internet because it's fun sometimes. And basically, people are still talking about that first episode when she didn't say that she has a worse life than the Hulk, but that's what men heard.
She never said that.
Those words literally never came out of her mouth.
No.
And then, I was just like, well, women do have to control our anger better. And obviously she's better at it because the first time she turned into a Hulk, she didn't go and destroy a city. Yeah. So.
She didn't kill nobody. She didn't hurt nobody. She didn't throw a fucking tank nowhere.
Do with that information what you want. But she has thus far controlled her anger better.
And if anything, like, people are saying like, oh, she's acting like her life is much harder than his. I think she's trying to prove the opposite. I think she's trying to prove that her life has been better and that she saw how the Hulk made his life worse. And that's why she does not want to do it. Like,
exactly.
I don't understand. Like, people's reading comprehension skills, listening comprehension skills, analysis of context clues,
critical thinking,
common sense just does not exist.
All-time low.
It's just, I don't think they have it at all.
Yeah. And like the person that I was talking to online, not only did they not use any punctuation, which just honestly fueled my anger even more because it's like, why are you even arguing with me?
Right.
You don't wash behind your ears.
Yeah.
But he was just like, men get raped and killed too. No one is comparing it. Y'all are comparing it.
Yes. Y'all are the ones that keep saying me too.
Exactly. And then it's just like no one, and like you had made this point, it's just like men are the ones that's telling y'all not to tell about your talk about y'all trauma and not to go to therapy and not to deal with your anger and not to deal with your fucking mommy issues. It's men that's telling y'all that. Women are like, well, maybe y'all, women are like Claire.
Yeah.
Maybe y'all need to go get some
Maybe you
therapy.
need some help. And I'm never going to forgive men on the internet for dogging out that black therapist who told men to go to therapy and they got her fired. And that's why I said, fuck them. Let them suffer and they're on their own. I'm not worried about no man's mental health except for the ones that are directly in relation to me, because this is what happens when you try to save their ass. So fuck them.
They don't want to be saved.
Right. I'm not Captain Save a Hoe. I know.
Right. But like you were saying, like men created the world that we live in, and they created this space that they have to be masculine and they have to, they aren't supposed to be, anger is an emotion. I don't know if y'all know that or not. So when you're always angry, you're an emotional ass little person. So learn how to control that shit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's very fucking annoying. The conversations that be coming around this show. I mean, that are, about issues on this show. I don't know.
It's such a good show.
It literally is.
And I'm not saying this because I'm a woman.
No.
I'm saying it because of the commentary and how it basically is making fun of most of its audience.
Yeah.
Not even most of it. I don't think it's most of the audience.
Just a sect.
Some of its audience. Yeah, they're making fun of some of the audience because they already knew the takes that were going to come up.
Yeah. And people keep saying like, oh, nobody's watching this show. Yes, the fuck we are.
Exactly. There are people watching it, and obviously you watching it too if you got an opinion on it.
Yes.
And then they don't have an issue with female superheroes or, women superheroes that are like Black Widow. That's very, like, that looks very sexual. Or, that stay in their female form. They don't have an issue with that. They have an issue when she's supposed to be strong.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's because Nat was just she was non-threatening to them. She was not supposed to be more powerful or capable than any other men on the team. She was just there to flirt and be sexy and shoot people sometimes. But now that they're like, oh, is Jen going to be stronger than the Hulk? Oh my God. Like, they can't fucking handle it. Even though it clearly, very, very clearly in the first episode, we see that no, she's not stronger than him. She's very strong. She could go head to head with him, but ultimately he's probably going to win. And that just was that wasn't good enough, I guess. That wasn't enough to calm them down. I really thought for a second that it was. When that happened in the first episode, when she threw a rock and then he chucked that shit to fucking Vormir, I was like, okay, they gonna be all right now because they see that their king is still the king.
Because before the show even came out, they were talking about, oh, they're emasculating the Hulk because he was doing yoga.
A man probably created yoga too, honestly.
We said that. We literally talked about that. Like, come on now. Like, it's very annoying dealing with these men on the internet and like reading the way that some people think. And it's like, wow, my child is going to have to grow up in this world. Yeah. With people whose parents, or like people who was raised by parents that have these type of views. So they probably raise their kids to have these type of views. Yeah.
And I think like people really don't understand like how much women actually have to deal with this kind of stuff in real life, especially like characters like Dennis. Like everybody has worked at a place when there has just been like just a skeezy guy who you just like could not stand.
Yeah, and he's obviously kind of like a caricature of that person, but there are people that are like that. Yeah, like they exist.
And I hope that people realize that like he is a caricature. Like everything about him is very exaggerated in the sense that he's the most chauvinistic. He's the most overconfident. Yes. He's the most like dick bag of a person that you can find. Even though I'm sure there are people like that, but maybe they don't have all the qualities that Dennis has.
Right. Exactly. They definitely like overplay his character to prove a point. Yeah. And I'm gonna say this: if you don't think your friend group or your job has a person like that, take a look in the mirror.
The call is coming from inside the house, babe.
Exactly.
They are terrible. I was so happy in this episode, though. He was constantly getting dragged.
He was.
The whole episode. Like, Jen straight up was laughing at him in his face. Like, you thought Megan Thee Stallion drove a Passat?
I know. That was the funniest part. That was so funny. And then I was just thinking, I was just like, so he didn't, like, look on her Instagram?
Right.
Like,
Stupid.
she right next to me, but she say that she's in, like, Austria performing or some shit.
He knew. I don't believe that.
And then it's just like, she's very publicly in a relationship.
Right. With somebody who don't look nothing like you, babes. You wish you looked like Party, okay?
Bruh. And the fact that, like, not to, you know, talk shit about the 5'8" kings out there, but she would wreck him.
He would not know what to do with all that. Never. He would never be able to handle that. Not a hot girl. Sorry. No. Not the head hottie.
I was just about to say, not the hottie coach.
Then he go tell, he told Jen he thought that he was a New York 10 and a LA 11.
LA 11.
Babe, in what universe?
Exactly.
Somewhere in the multiverse, maybe.
You
but not York, this one.
A New York 2 and a 0 in LA.
For real.
You might be a Wyoming 6.
Right.
And that's if Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal ain't there.
Oh my God. That was a mess. The court scene when she was just up there talking about him, boy, she was waiting to drag him.
She was.
She had that one.
She had to. Then she's like, I got to do it under oath.
Yeah.
They asked me to tell the truth and the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
She had that one in the clip, ready to go. I love that for her.
She said,
So
also, I really like Pug.
Me too.
He's a cute character.
Yeah.
And it's a very appropriate name because he's almost like I don't want to call him like dog-like, but he's like a cute little puppy. He's like, when the shapeshifter is like leaving, the shapeshifter was an absolute menace. Yeah. But when she's leaving, like in his form, and she's just like, oh, I love sexual harassment and all of this stuff, and then he's like, you guys know me.
Right.
Like, he was so cute.
Please don't. Yeah. He was actually a New York 10.
Oh, woof.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a fine man right there.
Yeah. That shape-shifting light elf, she was a menace. I feel like I would be exactly like her if I could do that. I'm just going to be up to shenanigans all the time. She
can have it.
She was having a great time.
Mm-hmm. And you know, she's Asgardian, so she's probably like 1,000 years old.
Exactly.
And she just been causing mischief.
Her
and Loki was probably besties.
It was a missed opportunity though, because I would be impersonating Beyonce. That's what I would do. I would do appearances at nightclubs, run off with my bag, and then never sing. Just show up. Hey, I'm Beyonce. Walk off with a bag of money.
I don't know who I would be. I'd probably be doing some really shady shit. Can't lie.
Villain origin story right there.
I know.
So let's talk about Emil Blonsky.
Mm-hmm.
That whole chaotic court scene. Well, his parole hearing. That shit was so crazy.
It was cute.
I do want to say, like, last week, I don't think we mentioned this on the podcast, people were speculating that his 7 soulmates, were actually the Thunderbolts, and that he was going to get out of jail and then go be with them and dun. But actually, it's just 7 women who just...
I honestly think that he wants to make a cult.
He probably do.
Because he wants to make like a yoga retreat that's like off in the middle of nowhere, and he's gonna have his 7 wives, and I think he's gonna end up being.
Is this like a Jared Leto joke that we missed? Is that what this is? Don't he have a sex religious cult somewhere?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's what they were going for, but
if it is, they funny as shit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Wong's just nonchalance towards the whole legal system, fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's just like, and it's just like, you can't arrest somebody like him.
Yeah, good luck.
Because he's just gonna leave.
He's just gonna jump through a portal and be on the other side of the globe, somewhere where you don't have jurisdiction.
You can't even like take off his like hands because he's still gonna be able to use his power.
Yeah, he's the literal sorcerer supreme. I'm sure if it got down to it, he could magic his way out of that. I also love the way that he was just like, I'm not erasing nobody's memory. It was messy the last time I do it
that
again.
Was so funny. Oh my goodness. And I was like, it was even funnier to me because I'm like, she doesn't even realize that her memory was erased.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing. Yeah. And she's probably like, what? You erased everybody's memory.
Just on so many levels, the show is just fucking amazing. Y'all are so mad and I have no idea why. I don't know.
I don't get it because I feel like our dudes like it. Yeah. And they're not toxic men. Yeah. So, and I mean, I think that as long as you're not a toxic man, you'll probably like this show.
Yeah. Most of the men who are not toxic, very secure in themselves and just like having a good time in life, they love the show.
You see your niece.
Yeah. Hey, Cersei.
It's such a fun show.
It is. I wanted to mention too, earlier, she did like say that she didn't choose her name and that someone else chose it for her, and I feel like that's also like kind of a fourth wall break. Like, I didn't choose to be here, I was created, I was given these powers. Like, the show was really about just body autonomy and just choice, because she never like had the opportunity to choose to be a Hulk or choose to come out of the closet name. Right, like choose to come out of the superhero closet. Her choice was either let those people die or save them. And it's not even like letting them die, watching them die. You would be in the room looking at their dead bodies afterwards.
Knowing that you could have saved them. Right. And then the backlash eventually when people find out that you became a Hulk. Yeah. And you did not go and save them.
Yeah. She didn't have a choice. And I think that she just wants to be able to choose this. And people were saying like, oh, well, in the comic books, Jen really loves to be the Hulk, and so they don't like this iteration of the Hulk because she doesn't want it. But my thing is, I'm sure by the end of the show,
I was just about to say
she's been the Hulk for 2 hours.
I was just about to say she's been like 2 days. Like, calm down. And I mean, when you think about the fact that like within the first week or something of her rejoining society and everything after she became the Hulk, she lost her fucking job and was jobless for a little while. Like,
now she's being bullied relentlessly on the internet.
And she's also an introvert. Yeah. So she does not like the attention. Yeah. She does not want people that's like, you know, all in her business and everything like that. So it's just like she's uncomfortable with the spotlight, which is very believable because I feel like I would be too. Even though I'm not very introverted, I would be very uncomfortable with people just knowing details about my life and knowing my name publicly and talking shit about me on the internet.
They said that she was pregnant with Abomination's baby. Are y'all kidding me? Like,
exactly.
If you really put yourself in her shoes, it's a fucking nightmare. I would not want to be the Hulk either. I wouldn't want to be famous. She can't. All she wants to do is be normal.
And be a lawyer and do what she trained to do.
Yes, and she's she in denial because even at the end of the episode, she was telling Nikki like, "I just want this to be over and go back to being normal." And Nikki was like, "Baby, that's over. You're not. That's
never gonna happen. That ship has sailed."
Yeah. So I don't know. And also, I love the post-credit scene. I loved Megan actually being in the episode. It was cute. I'm happy that, you know, she was just sprinkled into the main episode, and then most of her was at the post-credit scene.
At the end, right.
I thought that was great.
If you didn't want to watch it, you didn't have to. And then there are men that's just like, oh, this didn't add anything, didn't add any value. I wanted to come up with a list of post-credit scenes that did not add any value to the story. The shawarma scene in Avengers. Yeah. The fact that Iron Man 3 was being told as a story to Bruce Banner by Tony Stark. We didn't need that. No. The post-credit scene in Spider-Man Homecoming when Captain America is just talking about things not paying off. That didn't need to be a scene. There are so many instances of there being one of the male superheroes in a post-credit scene that doesn't add anything to the story, doesn't add anything to future movies. And even the post-credit scene from Doctor Strange, like, that didn't add anything. Yeah. So it's just like, y'all are just choosing to be mad because y'all don't like women. And that's honestly, that's really just the gist
of it. How you mad as women shaking ass? don't, like, do you not like women? Are you not attracted to women? Like,
and that's fine if you not, but
right.
Don't make it seem like women aren't allowed to do that. And then don't make it seem like women are trying to be sexual objects for dancing.
I think a lot of these men just have never had conversations with women, or just have never been around actual women long enough to know, like, I don't have to be trying to seduce somebody in order to throw some ass. I'm having fun.
Period.
It's just
because
literally that.
I be at home shaking ass.
By myself. Nobody
by
around.
Myself. And then sometimes, in most cases, when I did used to go out and I'm shaking some ass, I don't want a man to fucking touch me. I'm just trying to have fun.
Actually, don't speak to me. Don't even look at me, because this is not happening for you.
Exactly. And then, too, I would also like to say to our male audience, because, again, we made this show for women, but somehow our audience is mostly men. Let me just tell you that women are not monoliths. No. Women can be mothers, they can be sexual beings, they can be doctors, they can be lawyers, they can be extremely smart, or they can be extremely stupid. But they can also be sexual and fun and all of that stuff all at the same time. Mm-hmm. So just because somebody is shaking some ass do not mean that they basically a fucking sex worker. Like, let's just stop. Let's just fucking stop that. Yeah. Because I'll throw some ass real quick. Mm-hmm. Real quick. Mm-hmm. But I can also tell you the history of Westeros.
Yes.
I like to, I can do both.
Yeah. I'll throw some ass, and then I will go and I can write a 10-page paper. Whatever you want me to talk about, I bet you I can get 10 pages.
I'm in school right now. Last summer.
Yeah.
College girl, but a freak on the weekends. Okay, hello. I was a hot girl all summer.
Yeah,
and still got a man, bitch. Like, so don't make it seem like just because somebody is out here shaking ass that they can't get a man. My man knew exactly who the fuck I am.
Literally every woman that I know has just lists of accolades, like master's degrees, businesses, like running.
Exactly, like literally, I have cousins that are like. My cousins. Mm-hmm. So beautiful, so smart. Mm-hmm. They gonna shake some ass. They gonna party. They gonna take some shots.
Yeah.
But they are also very well educated as well. Yeah. And those are the type of women that I like to be around. I do not like to be around pick-me-ass women that be like, I just stay in the house and do nothing all day because it'll be more attractive to men if I don't do anything at all. Mm-hmm. No, you go enjoy your life. Don't worry about what these men gonna say, because they always gonna have shit opinions about everything. So enjoy your life. What am I supposed to be, a fucking nun because men don't like when women shake their ass?
I really think that the women who are like ultra conservative and stuff, like, they are the ones who are more concerned about the male gaze. Like, the women who are just out having fun shaking ass, like 9 times out of 10, they don't care about speaking to a man while they at the club, especially if you're with your friends, like a group of girls. We not looking for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're just trying to dance.
Just relax.
I just want to dance.
Just stand around our pocketbooks and
shoes and just dance. Dang Cook.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this episode was good. At the end, we had those 4 guys try to attack her. Apparently they are like some D-list group from the comic books who always just show up to get beat up. They work for somebody. We don't know who that person is. Probably the villain. He just said the boss, so maybe it's Titania, or maybe Emil Blonsky is secretly evil. I don't know.
We'll see. It looks like they were trying to steal her blood. It looks like a very advanced syringe. Yeah. So they were obviously trying to steal her blood in some type of way so that they could create another Hulk.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that next week she's going to have to, confront more of the superhero element of her new life. Mm-hmm. And then we'll see.
And how many episodes are in this season?
I think more than normal. I think like 8. Because I know for all the other ones, we only get like 6. 9 30-minute episodes.
Okay, and I was wondering, because I feel like the pacing of the show is very good.
Yeah, I don't really have no complaints.
I know that is like a usual complaint or whatever, but I personally have been very much enjoying the pacing. I think that this show is very good. So, to whoever don't like it, go talk to a therapist.
Yeah, or just don't watch it. Y'all don't have to watch this stuff. You could go watch
That is
something
also
else.
something. I forgot who said it. Maybe it was Straw Hat. Maybe it was Jay Stoops. But they were like, y'all do realize that Disney Plus also has No, it was Theories by T. He was like, Disney Plus also has National Geographic, and they show a lot of grass. I suggest you go touch it. And I was just like, yeah, like you don't have to watch this content. Like, why continuously watch something that you don't like and then just to go on the internet and complain about it? Like, that to me just
It makes no
screams
sense.
mental illness.
It
like,
does.
Because I'm not about to watch something, because if I don't like something, I obviously had to watch Iron Fist because
I was just finna say Shit Fist. Yeah.
It's the content that we're discussing, and then like continuity wise, we have to talk about Iron Fist to talk about Defenders. So it was a necessary evil. But if I'm consuming content recreationally, if I don't like it, I'm just not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna hate watch it, it's still gonna be fun because I'm gonna have fun takes and not be like on the internet like me, my dick is small.
If we did if we didn't have to watch Iron Fist for this, but I still wanted to watch Defenders, I would just literally go to the Wikipedia for Iron Fist and read the first season. And find out what happened. Yeah. And you can do that, like, even if, like, something happens in She-Hulk that's going to lead into the next movie, you could just read the Spark Notes and just go into the next movie.
Or just, like, go on YouTube and, like, watch
a recap.
Those, like, yeah, watch a recap. You don't have to actually watch the content. Right. Because guess what? You're still giving them views. People don't realize that. When they say certain amount of people have watched this show, they're not taking into account who watched it because they liked it and who watched it because they saw it on the internet and they want to be mad, so they want to watch it. You are still giving them views. Yeah. So if you really don't like some content, just don't watch it.
Stupid.
Dumbass. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are the South Side of Wakanda podcast, and this was our Shit Fist Season 1, episodes 9 through 13 discussion. The Defenders is next up.
Yay!
I'm so excited. I've never watched any of these, but I'm just really excited to see Maddie M again. Yes. Next episode, we will discuss... That was a random sentence. All right. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, guys. Bye.
Bye.